Mày cho, ấy có bất cảnh cho của nhau chế mòn gì nè.
Tao cứ mà cha hơi chỉ tao nào.
That was all I needed to hear. The rain tapped gently against the windows of my car, filling the silence between us. The windows were beginning to fog. I looked into my doll's eyes. She was beautiful. Then I leaned in closer and she didn't pull away. So naturally, I leaned in for a kiss. My hand rested against her thigh. My doll suddenly froze. Her entire body stiffened. Then she pulled away from me and looked behind her.
Cái hai tia. Nhưng mà nên nhớ nó. Cái chỉ sao hai lô đó cô này.
Còn cho lên từ thả nè.
Turning back towards me,
Hả?
she looked behind her again. I followed her gaze, but there was nobody. Then she looked back at me.
Oh, cocktail. I'm just having a moment.
Growing up, my family lived next to two other Hmong families. We were all pretty close. One house down from my house was my Zao. She was pretty, like really pretty, and apparently she liked me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I was some innocent guy back then, because I wasn't. I was a player, and if a pretty girl liked me, of course, I gotta talk to her. My Zao was a little quiet sometimes, but she was nice, and she smiled a lot, so that's why I liked her. Whenever she came over, I could tell she was just looking for me, so naturally, we started talking. But after that car incident, she made me so uncomfortable that I tried to avoid her around the neighborhood.
Mình chào mày chờ, có tôi lo.
Nhớ ra mà phao. Vừa bà nhớ trẻ lờ.
I was just walking down the hall to the living room when I heard my doll's voice. My eyes widened, so I hid behind the wall.
Phil,
My Nieti turned around to see if I was home or not. I looked at her and immediately crossed my arms in front of my chest and whispered loudly.
Tell her no.
My Nieti looked at me, then at my doll, then back at me. For one beautiful second, I thought she understood. Then my sister-in-law turned around.
Phil, mày cho tôi thế có.
I closed my eyes. Of course, Maniti couldn't lie to save her own life. I slowly stepped from behind the wall. When my doll saw me, her face immediately lit up. She raised her hand and gave me a little shy wave.
Hi.
Hi.
There was no escaping now, so the two of us went outside and sat in the front yard.
Ôi chà, tao ở bên nơi có chỉ tốt thiệt của Ly.
I scratched the back of my neck.
Oh, thật gì à? Tí à, cũng chỉ không là sự.
Lo. Cứ sai tia, cứ mỗi lần có trẻ là có chính cho sau của lời nó.
Lòng gạo. Vậy chơi cái linh sư mà.
The second those words left my mouth, I regretted them. Why am I lying? I was literally trying to get away from this girl, but old habits are old habits.
I've just been working really hard. What's so funny?
Then her eyes moved toward the empty space beside her.
Chị mới đã chiều.
Okay.
Her eyes moved back, the same spot. Then her lips moved. She whispered something I couldn't hear.
What?
My skin started crawling. Nope. I rubbed the back of my head and stood.
Cô tí lo có một bạn nữ call vào the backyard. I have to go.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I walked calmly toward the door. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. The second I got inside, I shut the door. I leaned against it and released the breath I'd been holding in. My Neti and oldest brother, both of them stared at me. I pointed toward the front door.
Niti, please. Next time, even if I'm home, đã để cô nhau lời, okay?
Ồ, hiểu vì lý kìa.
Wow, hey, có thứ hai tia, có nhà nơi này.
Man, she's weird.
They both laughed, but I wasn't, and I'm serious. After that, hiding from my Zao, became almost a routine. If I see her walking toward our house, I'm going somewhere else. If someone said my doll was outside, I hid in the bathroom, the bedroom, the backyard, anywhere she wasn't. There was one evening I had just stepped outside for a quick smoke. The neighborhood was quiet. I lit my cigarette and stood there enjoying the cool evening air. Then, for some reason, I looked toward her house. Like I mentioned, they were only one house down. The curtains moved. I narrowed my eyes. Then the curtain slowly opened. My doll was standing there. She wasn't doing anything. She was just watching me shyly from behind the curtains. Then she smiled. I lowered my cigarette
Oh, hell nah.
and I quickly ran straight inside the house. A few weeks passed by and nothing happened. I barely saw my doll, and when I did see her around the neighborhood, she seemed normal again. Eventually, I started wondering if I had overreacted. Maybe she had some strange habit. Maybe she talked to herself. I mean, I talk to myself sometimes, and if I'm being completely truthful, she was still so beautiful. So I went to see her.
ở nhà con nhớ kiện đó xí lo tôi chỉ tao bỏ cái tao in tụ nó lì
Tao chỉ yêu mày cho, tới giờ hồi lần đầu ấy của chị tao còn tua sai cao sư, có chỉ sao xả lý cha cho cô.
nhưng chỉ xả lý cha lo mà
She smiled. There she was, the normal Maitso, the one I loved. We laughed, and gradually I relaxed. I started thinking, see, you were just tripping. There's nothing wrong.
Shh. Wait.
What?
She looked irritated.
Cái đó của hai cái lỡ qua tôi cho nó
I assumed she meant the kids. There were other people living in the house, so I thought maybe somebody was bothering her. So I waited for her to get up, but she didn't. Instead, she turned her head.
What do you know? You can't keep bothering me.
There was nobody beside her, but she stared directly at the empty space. She listened closely. Then her face became more irritated.
Có chỉ một cái là chữ cũ nhân ra linh từ thả lo nhớ của tên mình
I didn't say anything. I just watched her.
Có chỉ nhớ của tôi lần đầu nè We already talked about this. You can't keep showing up when I'm talking to other people.
My stomach dropped. She kept staring at the empty space.
Ít lên là xã hai tiêu của vừa nè
What the hell, my doll?
She jumped slightly.
Who are you talking to?
She immediately looked at me. It was almost like she'd forgotten I was there.
Oh, sorry. I'm just having a moment.
There was that sentence again.
Why are you...
I stopped myself. Something inside me was telling me, just leave. So I stood.
I gotta go.
Phứ
I forgot I got something to do.
She looked disappointed.
Ý cơ mà lý cho tôi say của đua lo
Yeah.
Okay.
Another lie. I walked toward the door and never looked behind me. After that day, I was done. I didn't care how pretty she was or how much she liked me. Every time she came over, I avoided her because now I understood something I hadn't before. She wasn't just randomly talking to herself. There was somebody specific she was talking to, a man. According to her boyfriend. Except nobody else could see him, and apparently he didn't like me. About a month later, something happened next door. There were sirens, one after another. I looked outside. Police, firefighters, and the neighbors were running outside.
Wow, the house is on fire.
Everything became chaos. Maniati immediately gathered the kids.
Lo, cho chồng mình nhiều mua trốn đặt cho cousin.
She rushed them over to my cousin's house while everyone tried to figure out what was happening. The smoke was coming from my doll's house. It wasn't until a few days later that the story began circulating throughout the neighborhood. And according to what we were told, it started with her invisible boyfriend.
Giờ cũng nhớ lên từ thả lo. Chỉ có tay mình nè.
My doll was yelling toward an empty part of the room.
Có sao hay té có nhớ lên từ.
Her mother ran over.
Minh Thai, con cho lên từ thả nà.
Nghe à. Sao hay cô.
My doll suddenly snapped toward the other side of the room.
Shh. Ủa tay à.
Her face changed.
Nghe.
She jumped behind her mother.
Ủa cha nà.
Nghe.
My doll pointed.
Nghe. Nghe hay té này giống một của tôi nè.
Linh tin nà.
Nghe lớn trâu đã nữa mà. Nghe nhớ tỏ. Nghe hay té. Của Pinh thật thả lớn trâu này giống một của tôi.
Hả?
Her mother believed her, not that there was a boyfriend standing there, but that there was a ghost in the house. She hurried into the kitchen and came back with kerosene and a torch, preparing to drive the spirit away.
Khó tư.
My doll pointed.
Wow, nghe nhớ tỏ. Tại sao nó này nhóm là nó.
Her mother directed the flame toward where my doll was pointing.
Đã có sáng lâu. Nghe nhóm đã có sáng xì lời. Nghe nữ kia lời.
Nè mua đó tư lời.
Nghe nữ kia mà hồ ra lâu.
Her mother followed.
Nhớ khó tư. Wow, nè mua đó khó tư lời.
They followed the ghost into the bedroom, the hallway, closet, bathroom, and back toward the kitchen. Every time her mother thought she'd driven it away, my doll saw it somewhere else. Her mother continued chasing something only my doll could point out until something caught on fire. The flame spread fast. After the fire, my doll changed completely. I remember coming home from work one evening. It was around 7 p.m. I heard something coming from my doll's house. That's when I saw her sitting outside her front porch, alone, rocking herself forward, back. She was humming underneath her breath. Then she'd giggle, then mumble something, then listened and smiled. Something about that smile made my stomach turn. It was the smile she had always made when he was around. I hurried back inside. A few days later, I came home from work and couldn't even get onto my street. There were police vehicles, ambulance, and firefighters. Everything was blocked. I slowed down my car near an officer.
Sir, you can't go in. The street is blocked.
My house is down there.
He looked toward the chaos.
I can let you through on foot, but you'll have to park down the street. There's no way you're getting your car inside.
Okay.
I parked and started walking toward my house. It wasn't far, so I didn't mind. But the closer I got, the worse everything looked. There were yellow tapes and neighbors everywhere.
Lại tia là niên chạy vụ mô phỏ tuần này tu kinh nòng.
Wow, yêu chả mà.
À chỉ do nên niên hòn trâu đám để trọ lột dựng nữ sự lòng mò.
Hả? Có hay đã chỉ nó tại.
Then one of them noticed me.
Vừa à, tôi cha cha nó có mà lột dơ chế na. Có niên lòng gấu có pin thả thả na. Nữ vừa là nữ mô phỏ tuần này tu kinh lợi ô.
Everything inside me dropped. I ran. I pushed through the people as far as they'd let me. When I got closer to my doll's house, there was even an aircraft involved in the emergency response. Maniati was outside. The second she saw me, she shook her head. I looked toward the house.
Mày cho nè.
Maniati just looked at me.
Nè ti. Mày cho nhóc họ tư.
Her eyes moved toward the emergency crews, and suddenly I understood. I watched the aircraft leave. For the rest of the night, we barely knew anything. Everyone was impatiently waiting. Maniati answered. She stayed on the phone for what felt like forever. I sat nearby waiting until she finally hung up.
Ô lý cha lời.
Mai cho nè hai tia ni đi cho cái phò xí lời.
I exhaled. My jaw survived.
Để she vì do hai tia mình sai mai cho mua phò tua này tu kinh đó con yêu mù. E tele mu cha donu plu sha hang. Che le yoshishi hun the hang loko ni lunje mua. Sho katoblo ni po yashon yakulo.
Damn.
My heart sank again. I sat down. For a while, I didn't know what to say. I felt so bad, and I did. Whatever fear I'd had for Maitzel disappeared. All I could think about was a girl sitting in my car, laughing and smiling at me. How could everything have changed this quickly? I looked outside the window towards their house.
Neti. Kapopote yawacha.
My sister-in-law came next to me, pointing to the tree stump.
Fu go bu bolu bonong da na. Ta ke no che mai cha mu sho kia sha lu bonong tia.
This morning, before the incident, Maitza went into her parents' room and took out her dad's gun, then walked outside. As she stepped onto the tree stump, voices filled her head.
Mày cho à? Chỉ muốn lên từ lúc có, đó kia cũng muốn mà. Mày cho à? Có nhẹ có gì, có thể phong thế như, nhưng chỉ muốn lên từ lúc có nào. Con đó cũng muốn ai có thể lấy một cho cái rõ ràng. Tua kia có tụ kê nào. Có tua kia kể có cho cái nhau sẽ有 block kia. Có tua kia kể có有bỏ cho cái cá sen lưu sự tia. Tua kia có tụ kê chọn trai. Mày cho tua kia mà. Đó cũng mua. Chỉ cho là tua kia đó chỉ nó. Tua nè ha.
She pointed the gun inside her mouth. My heart sank. The image of it, I can imagine it so clearly. Maitzel survived, but the injury permanently changed her life. The doctors had to reconstruct parts of her face, even her voice changed. Whenever she spoke, her words sounded muffled, almost like she had water inside her mouth. We all had hope that after this incident, Maitzel would stop seeing him and things would get better, but it didn't. Because after Maitzel came home, she still talked to her boyfriend. Sometimes when she ate, she would prepare food for him. She'd get another plate, set food on it, acting like somebody else was eating with her. And I wish I could tell you guys that this was the end of her nightmares. Everybody thought he was her only nightmare.
That's what I thought, but the truth started coming out. I learned there were things happening inside the house that none of us really knew at the time. She wasn't happy there. She wasn't safe.
Eventually, Maitzel went to school and told people she was neglected without proper care at home. The authorities became involved and she was removed from the house. Later, somebody asked Maitzel if she missed her family, but she said no. She said she had always wanted to leave for a long time, but they wouldn't let her. Now, here's the darkest truth about that family. The part that still haunts me to this day. The man everyone believed to be Maitzel's dad had allegedly brought her into the household when she was still very young, under circumstances far more disturbing than what the neighbor had been told. She was brought to be his second wife, but because his wife wouldn't allow it, instead, Maitzel was raised as their daughter. But behind closed doors, we later heard allegations that she had been SA by the very man who was supposed to protect her. When I learned that, everything changed for me. I hope wherever Maitzel is today, she found the peace she was looking for. I hope somebody finally listened to her. I hope somebody treated her gently. And more than anything, I hope she finally learned what it feels like to be loved without being hurt, controlled, or afraid. Because when I was young, I thought the saddest thing about Maitzel was that she could see someone the rest of us couldn't. Now that I'm older, I realize the saddest thing was that we could all see the girl who lives next door, and somehow none of us saw how much she was hurting.